Moana 2. It's a movie. So Moana is probably one of my favorite Disney movies that has come out in the past 10 years, and Moana 2 is a big disappointment. Now, I don't want to be all negative because there are some positives about this movie, but there's one glaring issue that I could not stop thinking about when watching this movie. And it's the fact that this movie was originally supposed to be a Disney Plus series, and then they turned it into a movie last minute. And you want to know another thing? This movie was not animated by Disney Animation Studios. It was animated outside of the house. It's the first Disney animated movie that was not animated by Disney.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
And when I first found that out, I was just, no, absolutely not. No. Do not, no. No. But, again, it's not all bad. And I'm going to start with the positive. Seeing the return of most of the voice actors and all of the characters really did make me feel nostalgic. I mean, this movie came out 7 years ago, the original Moana, and just seeing all the characters back together, it really did make this feel like a worthy sequel. And yeah, that's kind of about where the good parts end. So first I'm going to start about the animation. It's good-ish, I guess. When we're in the year 2024 and the original Moana came out in, I believe, 2016, the animation for Moana in 2016 was stellar. The water physics, the characters' movements, the hair, everything, the facial expressions, the body movements, everything was absolutely amazing. And in 2024, you would expect that Disney would build off of this animation. However, the fact that this movie was not animated by Disney really shows. And I'm not going to say the animation is bad because I know the animators who animated this put in a lot of work, and I applaud them for that. The movie still came out looking amazing, and I'm going to say that. However, I just don't think for a sequel that comes out 7 years later, the animation holds up. The water is clearly less detailed, and at times the facial expressions just look really stiff. The body movements just don't look as natural, and the lighting just doesn't look as good. Oh, one more positive. The chicken's back. But no, seriously. In addition to all that, the music it's not great. There's not really any hard-hitting songs on here. There's no songs that I really think are going to be as, impactful as something like You're Welcome. There's just no moments like this in there, and I think that's because Lin-Manuel Miranda is not on this project. I knew the second that he announced he will not be returning to do the music for this movie, it just wasn't going to be as good, and I was absolutely right about that. I don't really think there's any great songs on here. I don't think there's any really awful songs, just a whole bunch of nothing, and that's honestly just how I would say the movie is. I think the music really fits the movie in the sense that there's nothing impactful. I don't take away anything from this movie. I don't really feel anything from this movie. I don't feel anything from the music. And I think, again, the music was just a major part of the original movie, that not having any hard-hitting songs on here just doesn't work. It doesn't make the movie, it harms the movie, in fact. Another issue with this movie is the pacing. The fact that you can tell where an episode starts and ends is not a good thing at all. Movies should be consistent. They should be paced well. They should feel like a cohesive movie. This does not feel like a cohesive movie. This feels like you just took 3 episodes, 4 episodes, 5 episodes, whatever, stitched them together, poorly edited it, and did not even try to write a story around each of the episodes. When Bob Iger was like, oh, we're going to make this series a movie, what did you do? Did you just take all of the series and put them together? I don't understand. It's awful. The pacing is not good in this movie. I had to rant about that. I'm sorry. And please tell me why they teased this real villain, and then it just did not live up to that at all. And no, the villain in this movie is not good. Or I should say the villains, because I don't even really know. One of the villains is a freaking storm. What do you want me to say? And honestly, the villains were so forgettable, I just had to look up the name. Nalo and Madanji. I really don't know how to even pronounce it. Nalo is like the storm that they fight at the end, and it's not a good build-up. Where did the story of this movie is not great, and it follows the pacing There's no real conflict. Like it's, oh, Moana wants to go on a journey. Oh no, there's a conflict in the journey. And now you have this villain who is evil, and now you have a storm at the end that Maui and Moana need to battle. And oh, would you look at that? The typical sequel movie scene where the protagonist is gonna die, and oh no, now the other protagonist is gonna hold her in the arms. And wow, no, now you're back to life. Like, it's so predictable. The storyline is not good. The pacing is not good. And I really think if they had extended the time to give the animators more time, hell, even animate it in-house, I think that the story would have been more cohesive. And I know this video is basically just me ranting, and I'm sorry, but this movie is from the same studio that made Tangled, like the original Moana. And I really don't even know at this point if I can even call Moana 2 a Disney movie, because it just wasn't animated by them. I don't know what involvement Disney had in the movie specifically, and I'm sure they had involvement in the script writing and all that. It's really just the animation. But, can we even call this a Disney animated movie from Disney Animation Studios? And in my mind, we can't. It just annoys me so much that, like, Bob Iger, I don't really even know who made the decision to make this from a series to a movie. They should have just kept this as a series and then made a second one, or just not made the series at all and made a second one. I really don't know what they were thinking. They were going to make a series and they're making a live action now. They're still making the live action, but now there's a second one, but the second one was supposed to be a series. It's a whole mess now. The Moana series, the Moana trilogy, whatever you want to call it, is just not good anymore. You had the first one. I don't know why they just didn't leave it alone, left it at Moana, or if they were going to make a second one, put the time in it. It shouldn't have come out this early. They shouldn't have changed it from a series to a movie. I really don't know what else I can say about that. I'm just literally repeating the exact same thing, and I'm so sorry. The original Moana, it felt like the sequences that were leading up to the final resolution or the conflict, it really mattered. It mattered. Everything that was done in the movie was purposeful. There wasn't any scene that was there just to fill time. In this movie, it just feels like every single aspect of this movie is just filler, and I don't know where the actual pie is. It's all just filling. Honestly, I don't really have anything more to say. I wanted to keep this as spoiler free as possible, which I think I did. So you're welcome. Yeah, I don't really recommend you go see this movie, and it's mainly for the fact that Disney is now just going to cheap out. I saw this movie is planning to open with 240 million or whatever it was. It was some crazy number. It's supposed to be one of the highest grossing movies in Thanksgiving weekend. It's crazy. If you give this movie money, they are just going to start animating out of house, and I don't think that's right. The Disney animators, they're talented. They know what they're doing. They have made good movies before, and they will continue to make good movies in the future. But occasionally there's going to be misses. We don't talk about, Pixar's misses, but yeah, it's just very upsetting to see Disney do something like this, release a movie like this in this condition. I don't think it's good. And as far as I can tell, the Rotten Tomatoes, they're good. People think this movie is good. So maybe I'm in the minority. I don't really know. I just personally don't think that you should be supporting a movie like this that just does not use in-house animation. It's pretty shitty for Disney to just start now just putting all their animators to the side and animating out of house to be cheaper, because I'm sure this movie was exponentially cheaper to produce, to animate. It saves time, it saves Disney money, it saves Disney time, and they're just going to keep pushing out the same garbage, and it's just going to keep getting fed. It's going to earn $1 billion in the box office, so what the hell do I know? Anyway, thank you for joining me. Yeah, this movie is a 3 out of 10. Not good. Bye.